Welcome to the Healing Place podcast, a space filled with inspirational stories of hope, along with practical advice for your healing journey. Your host is Teri Wellbrock, trauma warrior, writer, speaker, blogger, therapy dog handler, and founder of the Sammy's Bundles of Hope project. As a survivor and a thriver, Teri's mission is to shine the light of hope into the world by interviewing insightful guests from across the globe. Please stay tuned at the end of today's interview as we honor our sponsors. The Healing Place podcast is a fiscally sponsored project of Fractured Atlas. Now, here's your host and trauma warrior, Teri Wellbrock.
Welcome, everybody, to the Healing Place podcast. I am your host, Teri Wellbrock, and very excited to have with me today Maz Dela Cerna. And I know I butchered the name, and you're going to say it so much more pretty than I am. So welcome, Maz.
Thanks so much for having me, Teri. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I'm just thrilled to talk with you. And like I said, when I went to your website and looked at all the wonderful work you're doing in the world, so you're an author, mindset coach, and so much more. I had a whole list of things. We shortened it to that. So, so tell people what it is you're doing.
So basically, I've just written my book, I Deserve Better. The real and raw truth of relationships, friendships, and all connections in between. Basically, I also help people, I'm a mindset coach, so I help people remove subconscious blocks, self-limiting beliefs, heal their traumas and anything that can be blocking them so that they can step into their true power and manifest the lives that they want and they deserve. So very passionate about that.
Yeah, and I know trauma, I touched on a little bit before we hit record, but those with trauma history, we really have some of those negative tape loops, those messages rolling through our heads. And so getting rid of that in order to make the life we want happen really needs to happen. Yeah,
it took me years to figure that out. When it comes to the law of attraction, I first learned about that maybe 7 years ago. And I was doing all the things that people said, scripting, visualizing, creating vision boards, saying affirmations, all the things that everyone said. And it really just wasn't quite working, or it was little things, not quite, it was just something wasn't gelling. And it wasn't until years later I realized, oh, wow, there is so much more to this manifestation business. And a lot of it is healing your trauma and healing your childhood, working with your inner child and going back and working on your subconscious so that way you can then do the vision boards and the scripting and the affirmations. And then that's only really when it can work.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like if you just don't believe it in a heart, soul, mind way, it's just not going to happen.
No, you can think you believe it, but if you're not energetically aligned to that, if you've got low self-worthiness, a little part of you that you may not even be aware is there, but something that's happened from your past, or anything that's happened that could be blocking you from actually receiving it. Even though you think you're worthy of it, there could be subconscious things there that's actually saying that you're not worthy. So definitely agree.
Yeah, for sure. I found that out recently for myself. I really did some deep work about it and figured out why am I having this blockage? And it came back to something that my dad had just said over and over and over again, not directed at me so much, but just his whole attitude about people with money and greed. And it was one of those aha moments that I thought, oh my gosh, that's it. And it's amazing, just that little bit of understanding just shifted things. And I was able to get rid of that.
Yeah, definitely. I actually shared a YouTube video recently talking about that, how I was the same as well with my stepfather. Actually, I grew up listening to how people that had money were greedy, more money had to go around, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, all of that kind of stuff. And coming from that belief of you had to work hard for money. And I didn't think I took it on. But when like you going back to do that deeper work, you're like, oh, hang on, this is something that has been ingrained into my subconscious. And it was only until I started working on that, it was like complete light bulb switch, like 360 of life. And like, it's like, hang on, abundance is everywhere. Money
Yes.
does not have to be hard, and it does not mean you're greedy. It's actually there for everyone. So yeah.
Right. I had someone tell me just something beautiful the other day of by, by making money, you're actually, for those of us who are healers and givers by nature, we then can give more and offer more and invest more into this business and continue to offer value and resources to people who are looking for ways to heal and opportunities. So it was just again another one of those little shifts of, oh, well, yeah, that's a really cool way to look at it.
Yeah, it's an energetic exchange. That's all it is,
Yeah.
right? And like I know as well, a lot of people have thought like if you're spiritual, like you shouldn't be wanting money, and you should, like
Yeah.
there's that kind of belief, like spiritual people aren't supposed to be about the finances and that. But no, like again, like money is just it's an energetic exchange. It's just energy. Like
Yeah.
we don't need to label it as anything, and it doesn't mean you're less spiritual at all. If anything, if you can allow money into yourself, like to yourself easily, doesn't that show you're even more spiritual because you're understanding that energetic like exchange? Yeah, definitely.
Beautiful. I love it. Now you have a story of trauma and in your own story into finding your way onto the healing path and now doing this work that you're doing. Would you like to share it with the audience?
Oh, definitely. I guess, yeah, like I was born, like right now I'm in Australia. I'm very blessed to be here and living here. But yeah, I was born into poverty. I was born in the Philippines. I still have a lot of family there that are still in poverty. Um, I guess I came into spirituality more so later in life, but through my childhood, when I was maybe 6, I was molested as a child. At 14, I was drugged and gang raped. Had a lot of that. At 14, I also found myself sleeping on park benches and went through that, which then led me through a cycle of toxic relationships, one after the other after the other. And then it got to a point where I was like, hang on, this can't keep repeating. Like, and I started looking at myself and being like, is this me? Like, is this me? Like, how can I be repeating the same pattern over and over again? Like, and then that then turned to me then delving into myself and coming onto that path of like personal development and learning about that, which then led me into, yeah, spirituality, the law of attraction, learning all about that. And I guess, yeah, now fast forward, like I've written a book to help people become more aware and take responsibility and ownership and accountability for the part that they played and understand maybe why and how to best deal when they're in any kind of toxic relationship with themselves, friends, lovers, colleagues, and how to best navigate that. So yeah, now I share everything that I know with the world, whether it's through YouTube or vlogs or coaching people. It's, yeah, like you, something I'm very passionate in. And yeah.
That's awesome. And you know, when I started back to therapy, oh my gosh, in 2013, after my trauma, I had led this life of 25 years of severe panic attacks from all the horrors of my first 22 years. Well, I went to therapy and I had this list of 5 things that I wanted to talk about. And at the very top was a toxic friendship. That was number 1. And then number 2 was I was in the midst of a divorce. And 3 was a relationship with my teenage son, which had to do with the divorce. And it was just a little unstable. And 4 was my relationship. It was all relationship stuff. My relationship with my mother, who's an alcoholic. She's now celebrating 1 year and 4 months sober. Yay.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so cool. At 83, she gave up drinking and did it. But number 5 was my trauma history. So there it was, kind of lingering way down at the bottom, like, oh, if I'll mention that if we get to it. Yeah, it's funny how much all of it was tied together.
Oh, definitely, definitely. I think like a lot of people may think that they're healed because they can talk about it, or they can talk about it without crying and that. And I made that mistake for a while. I thought I was healed because I could finally talk about it, because it took me a long time to be able to even admit it or speak about it to another person. But no, it goes way deeper than that. And yeah, I do believe, being able to manifest the life you want and be able to learn to love yourself truly, you have to go back and do that dirty work. And it's not fun. It's messy.
Yes, very, very much so. Well, one, I totally forgot to say thank you for sharing your story and honoring me and the audience with your truth. I mean, I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, but so just so thankful that you've made healing progress with it, and that now you're offering healing, to others.
Yeah, well, thank you for allowing me to share that story in your space. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's having been through, again, sexual trauma myself. I just, there's just those soul connections that happen, those, #MeToo moments when you hear another person's story, because my soul certainly hugs yours in hearing that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. All right. So, let's talk about some of the other awesome stuff you're doing out in the world. So, what is Phoenix Rising Collective? Talk to us a little bit about that.
So Phoenix Rising Collective is what I've called my business and my brand. It's to allow people, when they do get to that, you've done it yourself. You get to a point where you're like, hang on, I'm sick and tired of living like I'm sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of life being so hard. And usually when that moment happens, something catastrophic or devastating usually forces you into that moment. At the time, it's not a great feeling because it's horrible, it's heartbreaking. But they're the times that, looking back, they're blessings in disguise. They're what force us to level up and grow and change for the better and start doing that work. So like the Phoenix rising from the ashes, hence why the Phoenix Rising Collective. So yeah, I work with people that do finally get to that point where they've had enough. They're sick and tired of being broke. They're sick and tired of attracting toxic relationships. They're sick and tired of feeling like life is so hard. They're sick and tired of watching everyone else be successful but them. And they're sick and tired of feeling unhappy all the time and feeling that emptiness deep within, and they want to be able to rise and step into their true power. So yeah, the Phoenix Rising Collective is what I do, and I help people. I take them on that journey so that they can save themselves years, because for me it was many years of work, and if I had known what I know now, like, I could have done that in a much shorter time frame. And so now I want to be able to help other people and save them years, because some people take years or never even get to that point, or take decades, before they come to that point. So that way I can help their journey, like, to healing a lot better. Like, I think for me, getting mentors and guides and like seeking people that had already been where I wanted, gone through what I wanted, is the best thing that's ever happened to me, because that's what allowed growth to happen on a faster level, right? Rather than just trying to stumble around thinking you've got to do everything on your own and everything's got to be so hard.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Amen. Yes, I love it because, well, one, I love the visual of the Phoenix rising from the ashes. I mean, it's just, it's perfect. And two, again, I keep relating to so much of what you're saying, because I just reached out to, I don't know, like 70 of my previous podcast guests and said, hey, I really want to, this podcast is blossoming, the business continues to grow, but I want to help foster it for more growth. And so many of these people are successful authors and inspirational speakers and just have successful businesses. And so, oh my gosh, the response was amazing. So I have all these mentors in my corner, and you're right. Why not ask the people who have been where I want to be, what did you do? How did you do it? And, at least take a look at the options that are out there. So, yeah.
Definitely. Everything is a lesson, and everyone you meet can teach you something, right? So Definitely. I do feel like, they say the 5 people you surround yourself with is like, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. It's definitely like that. So if you want to be better, find people that are in a better place. And that definitely helps with your growth and change, and
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. Now, do you work with people all over the world?
Yeah, yeah. So I work with people online. It's not limited to, and yes, all over the world. Yeah.
I love it. I love the whole Zoom global, like just how we're all so connected and finding out that, yeah, there's just that connection everywhere. We're all humans and all connected. And yeah.
The power of social media, it can be such a great tool, and like, yeah, we have so much resources available to us now in this generation with technology. So yes, I do. I do love that about social media.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so much. So coaching, we've touched upon that. You do inspirational speaking work as well. Are you doing Zoom speaking or are you traveling at all?
Well, right now there's not really too much trouble going
Sure.
on given the situation. But yeah, I'll speak whether it's like Zoom. Zoom's very easy to do these days. So grateful for that, just like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, just speaking about the topics that I'm like super passionate in, which is exactly like you. It sounds like we're very, very alike. Even
Yes.
the list that you set out for yourself, like, yeah, I love talking about toxic relationships and like manifestation, law of attraction, personal development, all of that. And yeah, healing trauma, exactly like you. I think it's like the same list,
I
actually.
know, right? That's awesome. I love it. And that's what I said before we hit record. I said, oh my gosh, and I'm talking to you and you're in tomorrow, which is so awesome too.
Hear from the future.
I love it. I love it. All right. So any other subjects that you wanted to touch upon?
I think it's important, like, I think the big thing is, I actually spoke about this recently on my Instagram, and the big thing is when it does come to coming into this journey, and a lot of people, when you decide you want to be better and you want to do better, like the downside of that is the fact that you have to admit to your own BS, basically. You have to own up to your mistakes and sometimes, and the things that you did wrong and the part that you played, and own up to the fact that, because like even though you may have experienced things or you've done things, like what is your responsibility in this present moment now that it's affecting you now? Like you need to own up to that, and that can be really confronting and not a great feeling, but I think that is the most important thing. Is that step is like a quantum leap. That's like the biggest step that you could do, because you can only ascend higher and like become better from there, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I'll just say it out loud. Mine is avoidance. For my phobias and fears, when I would have panic attacks, I would instantly go into avoidance. If I had a panic attack on a bridge, I'm never going to drive on a bridge again. If I had, a panic attack on a beach, I'm not going to go walk on the beach. I mean, it just became avoidance. And so, yeah, it's amazing what happens when you do shine that light on it.
And own up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And say, yep,
Yeah.
that's what I was doing.
And it's not a great feeling. Like, I'm sure when you were like, oh, hang on, I'm having these anxiety attacks, but like, and then I'm just running away from it. But I'm sure when you came to that point where you're like, why am I having these anxiety attacks? And am I using this now as an excuse to run from it rather than face it? I'm sure
Right.
you had that moment that would have shifted everything drastically
Yes.
for you.
Yeah. I think an empowering moment was when I finally did the healing work and I was able to be, okay, now I can be comfortable in my body when these scary sensations are coming up instead of, my flight, fight, or freeze. I was definitely the flight person, or I froze a lot, but then I'd run away. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Wonderful.
Healing is definitely, it's beautiful. Like it's painful. Like I won't, it's messy. It's a roller coaster of emotions, but ultimately it is beautiful. Like what comes from the other side of that is, yeah, like you're just a totally different, not that you're a different person, but you're stepping into your true authentic power. And the thing is, we are all so powerful, and a lot of us live our lives not being aware of that. And yeah, that's why I'm super passionate to like help people become aware of their own power, because we are also powerful ourselves, right? But
Yes.
yeah, the healing is definitely the biggest part of being able to have the life that you want, really. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. I say it often that in order to, you have to go back into that darkness in order to get into the light, because you really do have to do the healing work. It's just not going to miraculously dissipate and go away. And now we know what trauma does to the brain. I mean, and until you're able to fix that, the brain and the body, and the soul, all of it.
It is all definitely connected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I know for a long time I lived life thinking I was healed, just because, like I said, I thought I could talk about it, I could speak about it, I was not crying about it. And then I was like doing the whole being a positive person and speak, like doing those actions, but I really wasn't energetically aligned to that, and not able to really have and live the life of abundance that I deserve, because yeah, the subconscious things were there. They were blocking me that I was not aware of, even though I was thinking I was doing the right thing and I was thinking I'm not crying about it. There's deep-seated issues that, and the beliefs that we create from ourselves, especially when, like you would understand as well with your own story, but especially when it comes to trauma or anything like that, it affects how we feel, like our self-worthiness.
Oh,
Like, you might think, yeah, no, I'm worthy and I want these things and I'm worthy of these things and I'm worthy of love. But subconsciously, I think, especially if you've experienced rape or anything like that, especially, there is a part of you subconsciously that feels like you are not worthy because of that.
yes. Yeah. And I mean, again, you keep saying things that I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so speaking my story, because my biggest hurdle has been the worthiness aspect of it. And yeah, and there's, again, I could say it out loud, that yes, I'm worthy of all these, I'm worthy of success, and I'm worthy of this, and I'm worthy of, but subconsciously something was just always there blocking it. And until I did that healing work on it. Yeah.
Definitely. We've got to like love our inner child and give that inner child the love that she or he deserves. And yeah, I've got goosebumps because yeah, like what you're just saying, like definitely resonates with me. And like for me, it does break my heart, because there's some people that don't not yet come to that realization. They live their life not knowing that they're limiting themselves so much because of subconscious things they're not aware of, and it has not come to light yet. So yeah, I love the fact that there's more people now like yourself being able to share that light and shine that light to others, because I think everyone needs to know that. And it doesn't matter whether you've experienced like rape or abuse or anything like that, or homelessness, or it doesn't even have to be like that. I think everyone has some kind of trauma. Like we all have trauma. And some people might think, even though their parents have been together their whole lives and they have the happy home and whatnot, there's still trauma there that needs to be worked on for you if you're not like able to live your life in abundance. There is still things that you need to work on that's there. Like trauma could be anything, even like the littlest things, like what we both said. Both our fathers were saying how money, like rich people are greedy.
Yeah.
That in itself causes a self-limiting belief. And again, yeah, so
Yeah, exactly. I've even heard that I've studied a lot of on the ACEs, the adverse childhood experiences, and that children can even be traumatized if it's left as unprocessed trauma by something they see on television, whether
definitely.
the parents are watching a scary movie, or Jaws or something, and the child can have a fear, a phobia, whatever, some sort of trauma impact because of even something that they can see on television. So they may live in a happy home with no abuse and never had any sexual abuse happen or any of, poverty or any of those things, but still have, trauma remnants if it's left unresolved.
And it's crazy because sometimes you think, yeah, I don't have any issues, so what's actually stopping me from, living the life that I want? But you're exactly right. It could be the littlest things, and until we go back and do that work, you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe that tiny little thing has been holding me back so much in my current state now. Like, how? But it's a great revelation as well. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, again, let me check our time. All right. Look at that. We have 2 minutes. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, again, if there's anything else you'd like to share with the audience, please feel free to talk about it. Yeah.
I'm not too sure coming to mind. If you'd like to purchase my book, it's called I Deserve Better. It's on Amazon as well. And yeah.
Yeah. So well, then that leads me to, how do people get a hold of you? How do they connect with you?
My website is mazdelacerna.com. I have started a new YouTube channel where I talk about spirituality, personal development, law of attraction, all the stuff I'm passionate in, and that's called Phoenix Rising Collective. And my Instagram is Lil Miss Maz as well.
Awesome. All right. Wonderful. And I'll have on the video, I'll have your website listed so people can get to it. For the audio, can you spell it out for people?
MazDelacerna.com.
Awesome. All right. Wonderful. All right. Well, this has just been such an honor to have you here to shine your light and share your story. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so great to meet you as well.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us today on the Healing Place podcast. And remember, until next time, be gentle with yourself. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for listening today to the Healing Place podcast with your host and trauma warrior, Teri Wellbrock. If you enjoyed this episode and want to learn more about Teri, her mission, and the Hope for Healing journey, visit Teri's website at www.teriwellbrock.com. Thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and offering your reviews on our YouTube channel, audio outlets, and Facebook page. And as Teri reminds us, until next time, remember, be gentle with yourself.